Hello and welcome to our AI Dealer Week. Each day during this week, we're attempting to demystify artificial intelligence for the dealer community as part of a week of dedicated activities. This week is all about helping dealerships professionals gain clarity and confidence in using AI to improve decision making and boosting efficiency. Today, we're joined by Axel Grazer, Autoflow's commercial manager at AG Analytics. Axel, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Start by telling us what AG Analytics does and how it helps dealerships separate AI for AI's sake from AI that delivers measurable business results.
Yes, of course. So there isn't always a lot of clarity in the world of AI, and often dealers feel they need to keep up, so to speak, which certainly leads to this AI for AI's sake. Here at Autoflows, we always try to shift the conversation from technology to impact. And in our view, the biggest untapped opportunity is in the service department and contact center. And that's where predominantly our software is found. So specifically, we see the potential within the data itself. So the data already sitting within the DMS. And these systems traditionally, for those who use them, they hold a lot of information about vehicles and customers, but they were built in a time of older workflows, and subsequently that data is often underutilized and often relies on a large degree of manual input, which massively increases the risk of error. And this is where we see AI can be very beneficial. So AI delivers measurable business results when it helps unlock hidden value. And that's what we focus on. So our solution focuses on using automation to send proactive communication based on DMS data, re-engaging more inactive customers through maybe more interesting ways of working with the data that were less done traditionally, and as well personalizing the customer journey for every single customer based on the service history of their vehicle. So for us, AI isn't really the focus. After sales is AI simply the tool that we use to help make service revenue more predictable, scalable, and customer focused.
Okay. And what about delivering those measurable business results? Have you been able to put your finger on actually what you can deliver through the use of AG Analytics tools?
Yeah, so we see, in terms of measurable business results, we see the strongest, most consistent results in after sales and customer retention. This is where timing, relevance, segmentation have a direct impact on the bottom line, and where AI can kind of make a measurable difference quickly. So as an example, at an AM100 dealership group we work with, we boosted the service booking conversion from upwards of 40% from what they were currently having. And this is not through changing the offer, but it's improving the 5 W's and H, the who, the what, the where, the when, the why, and the how. And this is all assisted through AI technology. So it's not about leads per se and increasing volume, it's about better quality. So focusing on filling the shop with profitable retail work. For example, running predictive upsell automations to recommend additional services identified from past vehicle history, which assists both the customer and the dealership in their experience. So it's seen as an added benefit if we can figure out that an MOT is due even though the customer is only coming in for a service, or a timing belt could be due on the vehicle due to the last one being performed at over 6 years, as an example. So what powers these results isn't complexity, it's precision. Every message is timely, every interaction is relevant. And in today's margin tight, high expectation environment, it's no longer a nice to have. We believe it's the baseline for success.
Brilliant, thank you. So what are the practical steps does a dealer have to take to ensure these AI tools integrate seamlessly into a dealer's existing software rather than adding complexity?
It's a great question. I think our starting point is simple. Don't add complexity. Improve what's already there. Dealers don't necessarily need another tool. but they do need a better place to work digitally, and they need their existing systems to work smarter. So core feature is how we work with the DMS, and it's through seamless API integration. And that means a lot, but it can be confusing, but essentially there's no need to change how the team works process-wise. Instead, we automate where manual errors can be reduced and time can be freed up, all with tools that they already use. And so when we set up a new dealership, we tailor everything to fit how the dealership actually operates. Every setup is different. So our AI first approach is always flexible. Timing, team structure, tone of voice, it's all configured to suit the way the dealership does business. And that's often why dealerships we work with see us as a single source of truth when it comes to the customer, integrating all their complex workflows into one easy to use system. And this is kind of what evolution should look like. Less noise, more value. AI doesn't have to be disruptive. It works best when it quietly improves the things that matter: customer contact, conversions, and service performance.
Yeah, great. So you've told me where AI delivers the biggest measurable gains in what areas of the business. What is it that you're achieving in those areas? You talked about after sales, customer interaction.
Yeah, it's about getting more out of your customer base, getting more out of your data. And that's where we see as well for dealerships. It shouldn't be about chasing the latest AI trends. It's about rising to meet a new set of customer expectations.
Yeah.
And today's customers, as you well know, are used to seamless, personalized experiences in every other part of their life. If we give examples as streaming platforms or food delivery, and the same level of relevance and timing is becoming that baseline in automotive too. Customers expect to be reminded, not to remember. They expect communication to feel helpful, not generic. And they have very little tolerance for errors, delays, or irrelevant messages. And often it can be very time intensive to operate like this as a dealership, to make sure that this is done to the standard of the customer. And this is where automation and tools like AI can be of great benefit.
Okay, so you talked about tone of voice. That's interesting. How do you tweak that to match a dealership's way of doing business?
Well, when we onboard a dealership, the marketing and the after sales team will have a certain way they communicate with their customers. And for premium retailers and different brands, it may be different with what they're looking for. Your premium brands are looking for a certain way of communicating, whereas the other dealership groups who work with carry some other brands are looking at volume, and that's really a volume-based business. So using our tool, we can kind of provide both, cover for both, which is great. And we see it as a good way to ensure that there's always a quality provided to the dealership.
Brilliant, thank you. So looking ahead, which AI capabilities do you think will be the next real differentiators for dealerships in a margin tight market?
Yeah, I think, as I was alluding to before, it really is providing that experience to the customer that they expect across other mediums. And this shift isn't necessarily driven by technology, it's driven by trust. And in a market where margins are thin and competition is growing from all sides, the differentiator for the dealership is no longer just the car that they offer, but it's what you do with the data that you have already. And dealers really sit on a gold mine of customer and vehicle insights in their DMS. And most of it, as I was saying, just goes unused. So unlocking this data means turning everyday service interactions into moments that feel personal, timely, and valuable to the customer. And that's where the competitive edge lies, right? In owning this relationship, not just the transaction. And I heard someone say that the relationship is built and rebuilt in the service lane, not just the showroom. And it's
Yes.
very true, I think. And at Autoflows, we see the service business as the most strategic growth lever dealerships have in the UK. And our job is to unlock that potential with tools that make smarter use of their own data and adapt to how their team works, and quietly behind the scenes elevate the customer experience in ways that truly move the needle.
Brilliant. Is it DMS agnostic? Can your tools be as agile with any system?
It definitely can. We see ourselves as DMS agnostic, and whilst we are the biggest key loop partner globally, we actually integrate with about 15 other DMS systems. So we welcome any DMS provider, and we can work with every DMS provider.
Great. Thanks, Axel, for those really useful insights. And thank you for watching. And don't forget to watch the full suite of our coverage on AM Online for more insights into this topic.